Good morning and welcome to the August 5th news broadcast for the Fredericksburg Standard-Radio Post. My name is Samuel Sutton, and as always, joined by Madeline Watson and Reed Grape.
What's up?
Reporter and sports editors here at the Fredericksburg Standard. First topic that we are going to touch on is COVID-19. As reported in the paper, the August 4th paper on Tuesday, the positivity rate is up to 23% in the county. I spoke with Justin Calhoun and also Kent Myers, the city manager, touched on it at the city council meeting on Monday. The increase in cases at the hospital is starting to put a strain on the hospital staff. They reached out to Governor Greg Abbott last week for additional staffing, but they were denied that. So Justin Calhoun tells me they are looking for more resources to help the hospital. So stay tuned on our COVID coverage. We will continue to update you guys on the situation here in our videos, in the paper. So just keep checking us out. The next thing that we're going to talk about is the Hill Country Film Festival that occurred this last week. Madeline, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to go to the Hill Country Film Festival. It began on Thursday, July 29th, and continued into Sunday, August 1st. And it was a blast, at least the parts. I was unable to go to everything, but I was able to see the family-friendly showing of Spy Kids at Marketplace, and that was awesome because that was like one of my favorite movies as a kid. I'm not sure about a lot of other people there.
I love Spy Kids.
Yeah, those movies were awesome, and they made me want to be a spy. But overall, like, there was a ton of really cool new movies in addition to Spy Kids, and one of our bigger movies that won a few awards was Last Night at Rosie by director Sean Gammett. By director Sean Gammett.
No, forgive us. Names are hard sometimes.
Yeah. So
we've got it spelled right in the paper, so don't worry.
Yes. But yeah, his film won Cinema Dolce, which is the Best of Fest award there, and that's a big deal, as well as Best Feature Film, which are two like huge awards. A bunch of other films like swept up Best Actress, Best Actor. They gave away awards like that. So we had a lot of people in Fredericksburg from the film industry. I was able to go to a few of their like kind of social gatherings too, and it was just really cool. Last year it was all digital, so I think everyone there was just happy to be in person doing that and watching movies in different locations like the Fredericksburg High School Auditorium and Hoffman House rather than watching them behind their desktop. So I think a lot of people were pretty happy and excited about that. I think it was a pretty good turnout. Of course, I've never been to one of the Hill Country Film Festivals before, so personally, I really enjoyed it. So, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't been either. I've always wanted to go check it out, so maybe next year. Definitely looking forward to that. Cinema Dolce, I love the name of that award.
Yes, Cinema Dolce, and I keep wanting to say cinnamon.
Right.
And I know it's like a play on words, but it trips me up a little bit. So
That's what it's meant to do.
I guess so.
The next thing that we're going to talk about is Schuetzenfest, which happened over the weekend. Reed, you were out there attending that. How was the atmosphere there? Could you give us an update on that?
Well, outside of battling some weather, it was good. When I got there, they were going to delay, so I got there a little bit after 1, which is when the shooting on Sunday was supposed to start. And when I got there, they weren't shooting. But about 2:30, they started shooting, and I think there was a good environment, a lot of good shooters. And we had. I didn't take the picture, but we had a picture on the front page of, I think it was Sam Franson was this year's Koenig.
How's it spelled?
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but he was basically the winner of the thing, and then we also had the Rimfire winner, and I don't remember her name, but there was another one of them. So we had all of that in the paper on page B4. So all the results from that are on page B4, as also some pictures, and then we had the front page picture of Sam Franson. So congrats to Sam, and who I've drawn a blank on who won the Rimfire, but congrats to both of them. And yeah, it was a cool event, and it was my first time going. It was the 125th time they had held the event. And it was really interesting to learn that people really care about that thing. And there's a lot of tradition behind it. And that was really cool to learn about and start meeting the people that are involved with it. And so we also had a picture of there are 5 gentlemen that have shot a perfect 100 there. And we had 4 of them. One of them's deceased, but the other 4 in this paper. So pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff.
Well, thanks for covering that. We always cover that event each year. It's really big in the county, as you learned. A lot of people love it. But we got all your names in there. Anyone who participated, go check it out. Like you said, on page B4. The next thing that we're going to talk about, Madeline Watson had a grape update. So obviously wine is huge here in the Hill Country, and the grapes are what make the wine. So Madeline, what did you learn about grapes?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of grape harvesting season's kind of right around the corner, if not has already started for some people. And I was actually able to talk to the AgriLife Extension viticulturist here in Fredericksburg, Brianna Crowley. Like, she was awesome, taught me so much about grapes and like the growing process that I didn't know a ton about. So I was able to learn a lot. And we kind of focused a lot on, the moisture and the rain and the cold weather and how that affects grapes. And I know that back earlier this year, right after the winter storm, I know that you sat down with the owner of Grape Creek, I believe, and his kind of predictions were kind of, he couldn't really predict what would happen. No one could. No one could really predict, and some people were worried that the cold weather and the rain would have a negative effect on the grapes. But talking with her, it sounds like, overall, all the grape growers she works with are still doing pretty well, as long as they were, pruning in the right ways, making sure they're protecting from like the black rot, cotton root rot. She said those were two of the bigger issues, but still like surprisingly good results for, a lot of the uncertainty that came with the storm. So that was nice to hear, and nice to hear for not only grape growers, but people in the wine industry here. That's very good for them to know. So yeah, it was enlightening, and I learned a lot that even now I don't know if I could explain right this second, but in the story, I think I explained it a lot better. So
cool. Well, yeah, you did a good job summarizing it. Honestly, I don't know a whole lot about grapes either, so I'm excited to read that story. It's a huge industry here, as everyone knows. And one thing about the business that we're in, we learn something probably every week. We learn something new, whether it's a sport, whether it's something in agriculture, whether it's something regarding city business. And so it's always fun just learning about the odds and ends of the place you live. So but yeah, be sure to check that out. That's on the agriculture page. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, it is.
So check that out in the August 4th edition. The next thing that we're going to talk about is sports. You've been busy.
Yeah, it's been, I talked about it last week. This is kind of the first week everything was kicking off. So we had football for Heritage for Harper and Fredericksburg kicking off this week. Heritage will be starting on Monday. We'll have stuff for that in next week's paper. But this week we had a kickoff from Harper football, Harper volleyball, Fredericksburg football, Fredericksburg volleyball. We talked to coaches. We talked to Coach Moffitt. We talked to Coach Raymer, Coach Zinner, Coach Lumpkins. So we have those conversations in this week's paper. We have photos from practice, a little bit of everything. And I feel like we did a pretty decent job with day one coverage. And we got that in there. We've also got an interview with Coach Randall King of Fredericksburg Tennis. And I was just out there this morning for their tournament with Kerrville, and the Billy tennis is looking really good. And so Coach King has been there for a long time. He's heading into year 28. We was able to chat with him about how long he's been here, what keeps him here. We talked about him getting inducted into the Texas Tennis Coaches Association Hall of Fame. So I feel like we had some good stuff in sports this week. It's all in there in the B section. And then we even had results from the Race Day Classic Steer Show. So we had lots of photos from that. I didn't take those photos. We had those sent by Devin. I'm drawing a blank on her last name, but she sent us the photos from that. But we have all the results there, and our front page photos from the Steer Show. So good stuff this weekend in sports. Yeah, thanks to Devin, and thanks to you for both of y'all doing the heavy lifting on that Steer Show. Kids always appreciate it. Families always appreciate seeing their names in there. So good on you for getting all those results in there. And also, for as far as sports goes, you always advertise our news broadcast in your podcast. So I always have to advertise you in Standard Sports Talk. Last week you interviewed Coach Raymer. Is that correct? Coach Jason Raymer.
Coach Jason Raymer.
Battle and Billy volleyball. Well, this week we had Lance Moffitt.
Mm-hmm.
That episode is out right now. Go listen to it. Go stream it anywhere you want. It's a great episode. Honestly, it went really well. I loved having Coach Raymer on that last week, and then we got to have his perspective on Fredericksburg football. Coach Moffitt gave us a lot of really good insight into what that team revolves around, what makes them tick. We got to learn about the seniors and what makes this senior class so unique, and it's a very big senior class. So it's a good discussion, and it's a really good way to kind of get an insight on what this year's team is going to look like. So, yeah.
Yeah, go check that out. It's on anywhere you listen to podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and several other places. So don't forget to look for that.
Standard Sports Talk. Yeah.
Standard Sports Talk came out at 9 a.m. this morning, Thursday, August 5th. Again, my name is Samuel Sutton.
I'm Madeline Watson.
I'm Reed Graff.
And this is the August 5th edition of the Fredericksburg Standard-Radio Post news broadcast. Thanks for always watching us. Thanks for always reading. Pick up a copy of the August 4th edition. It's on newsstands, wherever you find newsstands. It's probably on your door if you subscribe to us. So keep a lookout for that. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day.